let's make my high-speed brickyard for the racing fan in your family. This quilt is surprisingly fast to make, and all 5 quilt sizes except the king are zero waste friendly quilts. However, there is enough room that if you have yardage with a thick selvage, making it both perfect for solid and print fabrics. I will have that free PDF link down below in the video's description. Today I am making the throw size, which is 64 inches by 64 inches. You will need 3 1/4 yards of red and 1 1/4 yards of the cream color. I am using weathered brick and white linen for my colors, and I wanted to keep it with that Indy Brickyard theme. With your red yardage, you will subcut 8 4.5 inch by 16.5 inch rectangles, 12 8.5 inch by 16.5 inch rectangles, and now those 2 blocks are completed. Then you will need to subcut 16 2.5 inch by width O fabric strips in both the red and cream color. Then with the 2.5 inch strips, you'll take 2 of each color and place them in a candy cane like order, and you'll sew them together on the longest side. And when working with strip sets, if yours tends to bow when sewing them together, put the salvages on opposite ends. That usually helps out quite a lot. With the strip set, you will then subcut them into 2.5 inch by 8.5 inch rectangles. Each strip set will yield you 16 of them. Once those are cut, select 8 of them and rotate every other one to create a checkerboard layout. You'll then sew them all together to make a 8.5 inch by 16.5 inch rectangle. This is the only piece quilt block that you make, and since this is all strip sets, it comes together pretty quickly. Now all you have to do is repeat this step until you have 16 checkerboard blocks. But once everything is complete, you'll take the red 4.5 inch by 16.5 inch rectangles, the 8.5 inch by 16.5 inch rectangles, plus the checkerboards, and you'll start creating stripes. Regardless of whatever size you choose, the top and bottom rows will use the 4.5 inch tall blocks. This is then followed by the checkerboard blocks, then the 8.5 inch tall blocks, and you'll repeat it until you have a 4x9 layout. Then as always, you'll sew your blocks together into rows, and lastly, sew the rows together to complete your quilt top. And here's what my quilt looks like all finished. For the backing, I am using the matching red print called Weathered Brick, and I chose the color mauve in glide threads as it shouldn't overpower the white within this quilt, nor the red. It should be a nice middle ground. And here is what my quilt looks like all quilted out. And for my longarm quilters, I chose Windy Swirls from Urban Elements, which I will link down below in the video's description. But once again, this pattern is available as a free PDF in 5 quilt sizes: baby, throw, twin, queen, and king. I will have more solid two-tone quilts coming out, so make sure you follow. And I do hope you have enjoyed today's tutorial. If you could please take a moment to hit that like and subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you can be notified for your next amazing quilt project.